Welcome to Unit 3. This unit introduces a brilliantly simple way to think about reducing the amount of unnecessary words you use in your writing. The idea of glue words and working words was originally developed by Professor Widdick, one of the grandees of plain legal English. In a sentence, we use glue words and working words. Working words communicate the message to the reader. Glue words stick the working words together to form a sentence. What's the problem? The ratio between glue words and working words is wrong. There are too many glue words compared to working words. Why is this a problem? If we understand that working words communicate the message, then there should be more working words than glue words. Unfortunately, glue words are seen as legal or formal and are used excessively in legal writing. It's almost as though lawyers want to confuse their message by hiding behind a mountain of words. Therefore, if you want the reader to understand your message, don't hide behind words which, well, don't work. On a practical note, many glue words are very difficult to understand as they are based on idiomatic language or require the reader to have a deep and extensive knowledge of English. What's the solution? Analyze your writing to identify uses of glue words and cut these glue words out, or redraft the sentence to get the correct ratio between glue words and working words. How? When writing and editing our work, we have to think about the amount of working words we use compared to glue words. Well, there are a number of ways that we can do this. A good way to cut out glue words which don't add anything apart from extra word count is to look for the typical and commonly encountered legal prepositional phrases. These are overinflated pieces of writing which introduce unnecessary prepositions and potential confusion to your writing. I've no doubt that you would have encountered many examples in your reading so far. Take a few seconds to read the following examples. You might be under the impression that the highlighted legal prepositional phrases are legal or professional and therefore it's good to use them. They're not. Why? Well, readability tests tell us that the average reading age in the United Kingdom is approximately 9 years old. That's right, 9 years old. That means that any document for public consumption should be written in a way that a 9-year-old could understand it. If we accept that legal prepositional phrases are understood by people with higher reading ages than 9 years old, this means that we should look for easier, simpler alternatives. We have to bear this in mind, especially if you're writing to someone you suspect has limited language skills, for example, a foreign client that speaks English as a second or even third language. Anything you write to them must be written in a way that's professional and businesslike, but also understandable. If we look at the legal prepositional phrases in the examples, we can replace them easily. The comment was made in reference to the issue discussed in can be the comment was made about or regarding the issue discussed in. It was said during the course of the meeting that can simply be it was said during or in or at the meeting that. Removing legal prepositional phrases is one way to cut down unnecessary words. Let's now look at legal language itself. Take a second to read this example used by Professor Widdick and try to identify the working words and glue words. The working words are trial, jury, requested and defendant. The remaining words are glue words, a, by, was, by, the. We can see that there are more glue words, 5 of them, than working words. This should immediately tell us that we need to redraft the sentence. If we look at the working words and bear in mind Unit 1, which talked about the subject-verb-object order, we can quickly establish the correct sentence structure. The defendant is the subject, requested is the verb, and jury trial together form the object. This gives us the defendant requested a jury trial. The meaning is the same, the sentence is concise and to the point with a strong message. We still only have 4 working words, but now only have 2 glue words. Take a few moments to think about the working words and glue words in this next sentence. If we think about the working words, the words that communicate the main message, these might include motion, table, shareholder, articles of association, dictate, consider, members, management board. In this 35-word long sentence, very few words actually work. The majority are glue words. The balance here is clearly wrong. If we change the legal prepositional phrase in the event that means if, concentrate on the basic message and remove all of the superfluous language, we can redraft the sentence to get, if the shareholder tabled a motion, the Articles of Association provide the management board members should consider it. Here, the sentence is only 18 words long and the majority are working words. Very few glue words remain. When dealing with working words and glue words, sometimes it's sufficient to fix part of the sentence, that is, replace a legal prepositional phrase. In many cases, as you will see in the questions to this exercise, you'll have to redraft a large part of the sentence, or indeed the whole sentence. Let's recap. 1. Analyse your writing to identify working words and glue words. And 2. If the balance is wrong, redraft the sentence to remove the superfluous language. It's helpful to remember the subject-verb-object structure presented in Unit 1 and the rules about sentence length in Unit 2. Now we know what the problem is, why it is a problem, and how to fix the problem, we can now test the rule by doing the questions below. However, if you're unsure about any of the points which I've made, please go back and watch the video again. Feel free to pause the video to review all examples at your own speed. After you do a question below, you can click to see a suggested answer. Just before you get started though, please note the following. Please read the question and the hint carefully to make sure you complete the questions properly. Don't just get stuck into the questions, read what you have to do first. In the suggested answer, there may also be further comments to a particular question, so please read these comments carefully. The suggested answers are just that, suggested. There may of course be other also correct ways to answer each question. I've tried to put in as many variants as I can, but for obvious reasons I can't write every single correct answer. So, as long as your answer follows the main points highlighted in the suggested answer, your answer should be okay. The questions are designed to practice the rule in this unit. So, although you can make further corrections to the rest of the text based on the other rules in the course, the answer only concentrates on the rule in this unit. And finally, please don't get lost in the legalities of the question text. It's there only to provide material to practice the rule, not to be a law lesson. All that being said, off you go.